Good morning, everyone, and a very warm welcome. It is truly wonderful to have you here with us today, where I am live from New York. We know your time is valuable, and we appreciate you choosing to spend it here. I promise it's going to be worth it. We've had great successes all over the globe with this very masterclass. With the incredible energy we felt in cities like Mumbai and Johannesburg, we're excited to host our very first North American edition. I'm Janine Ransky, and I'll be your moderator for today. Think of me as your guide for what I promise will be a thought-provoking and practical conversation. I've spent 25 years in banking, and I've seen firsthand how AI can help you grow revenue, make operations more efficient, and improve the experience for both customers and employees. We're living through one of the fastest technology adoption curves in history. In just 18 months, generative AI has gone from research labs straight into boardrooms. Stanford's 2025 AI Index found adoption has tripled in just 1 year. But here's the challenge. Over 70% of those projects stall before delivering real business value. As Sam Altman put it at the 2025 World Economic Forum, the challenge is no longer access to AI. It's the ability to embed it meaningfully into the work that matters. And that's the reality. Too many initiatives live in a PowerPoint, but not in production. This is where it gets interesting. Yes, adoption is very strong in North America, but results, they tend to be a little uneven. Thomas Reuters found companies with a clear AI strategy are 2 times more likely to grow in revenue and 3.5 more likely to see real benefits. Atomic Works 2025 survey showed North American firms lead the world in positive AI return on investment, especially in areas of energy, utilities, and logistics. Snowflake's global research reported 92% of early adopters are already seeing returns. And with every dollar invested, an average return of $1.41 comes back in revenue. Bottom line, with the right strategy, execution, and readiness, AI will deliver real and scalable value. To move from experimentation to impact, companies must shift from scattered pilots to platform-based strategies. The most successful organizations have very clear KPI and roadmaps, embed Gen AI into core workflows, support employees with role-based training and change management. There's no reason to be afraid of AI, and make sure that senior leadership owns the outcomes. Success with AI means blending quick wins with high-impact projects, all with a very disciplined eye on strong governance and cost discipline. In other words, small wins, big bets, and smart guardrails. So together we're going to go on a journey. Look at why so many AI projects still struggle to deliver impact. Talk through how Gen AI can be embedded into the processes that matter most. Show how a platform approach helps scale results in a sustainable way. As we go through this, keep thinking, how does this apply in my world? We are honored to be joined by the brilliant Arun Jain, founder of Nucleus, Polaris, and now Intellect Design Arena. Arun isn't just a technologist, he's a business model visionary. He's also the chief architect of Purple Fabric, pioneering a new way of thinking about AI in the enterprise. Supporting him is our very own Deepak Destrala, who's our CTO of Intellect AI, who works closely with Arun to bring these ideas into real-world deployments and make it live. In Arun's own words, we don't plug AI into legacy processes. We redesign, re-architect, and re-engineer the business around business impact AI. That's exactly the mindset we're going to explore today. So today, we're not just talking about AI. We're going to show you how it works in practice. Step by step, we're going to walk you through our Purple Fabric platform, how to build an enterprise knowledge garden, or we call it our EKG. It's structuring and connecting enterprise knowledge for AI readiness. How to create an agent, an AI helper, designed to take on specific tasks. how to build a digital expert, which is a reusable solution that combines intelligence, workflows, and domain know-how to solve real problems, and how to publish that agent so it doesn't just stay in a demo. It's not just a fake thing, it's there. It's scaled across enterprises for everyone to use. And as you listen, picture your own world. Where can AI make things easier, faster, smarter for your customers or your employees? If there's a clear need, guess what, guys? There's likely an AI way to help. What would it take to bring that into your day-to-day? Remember, the agent options are truly endless. And once you've seen the how, we're going to bring it to life with 2 real examples powered by Purple Fabric. The first is going to be in trade finance AI. It's going to be streamlining trade operations by reading and processing documents quickly while supporting smarter decisions. The other is going to be a solution and product assurance, a guided AI-driven app that makes end-to-end testing and quality checks simpler, faster, and more reliable. This is AI moving from theory into action. Thank you again for joining us. We are so excited to kick this off. I am thrilled to be here. Put your thinking caps on, because what you'll see today is not just theory, guys. It's AI that's already making a difference. Let's dive in, and please join me in welcoming Mr. Arun Jain.
Good morning. Thank you for joining this masterclass on AI. Business impact transformation design revolves around enterprise transformation design, which is a partner of choice. We are 4 decades working in the financial sector, and we are reinventing ourselves each cycle of technology what we've gone into. Our platform solutions are trusted by over 500 financial institutions in the world across 57 countries. And we invest close to 2 million hours every year in our research areas. So that brings us to the kind of a technology what we are delivering today. The history of AI, the way we started in 2016, we started the history of AI, where we start experimenting with data and AI, and then we start looking at a solution, then we start building as a product, and then we started looking at a platform, and then it's coming as a AI impact enterprise as a system. These are the various stages in which we went in defining our journey. Between the first 2 phases, as you see the graph, we have multiple learnings. So the first 3 phases, I think, we must have failed 4 to 5 times in when we are trying to get a business impact. We were not able to achieve 87, 88, 89% accuracy. So that was the trouble we are getting in early stage. You might be seeing today also the similar kind of issue may be there. But by the 4th cycle, we are able to get over 90% accuracy. Our scalability starts improving. And that's where the Purple Fabric platform has started emerging over there, which is a wave 5. We are truly a world-class platform over there, where we have delivered multiple live in production and delivering real business impact. We have 70 plus ready to use and proven digital experts. We have 45 financial institutions who are using it. The independent analyst, global analyst, has rated Purple Fabric along with the same spectrum of AI lifecycle AI. So because AI has 2 spaces, one is AI lifecycle and second is data lifecycle. So they are player in data lifecycle like OpenAI, which is the data lifecycle player, or Google, Gemini, all are data lifecycle player. And then there's the application lifecycle player like Palantir and C3 AI and Code.ai. They are the platform players. So we are in top 3 along with Palantir and C3 AI based on all the parameters which require for scalability in enterprise with a secure manner, with ethical manner, responsible manner. So that's the important yardstick our research team has achieved over the last 10 years. In this today's session, we have multiple people who are joining us. So There are banks there, there are insurance companies there, there are consultants there, there are ISVs there, there are fintechs, IT services company, infra services, or some other competition may be sitting there, and they are current and potential customer and partners. We are all fellow travelers in this journey. All the AI is so new to all of us, but it's making such a huge difference. Some good experiment and some not so good experiment. We are united by sheer curiosity and sense of urgency. So very few moments of lifetime in my journey of last 40 years where we have a common destiny which is done by humongous amount of curiosity along with urgency itself. There are three schools of thought in AI adoption. First school of thought is about I use personal productivity tool like ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok, Perplexity. Those are my multiple tools where I'm using for personal productivity. Second school which comes is when I start using in enterprise, I start identifying some use cases where I want to prove those use cases by use cases using some of the platforms or some of the AI agentic software for defining use case by use case. And third school is which only 5% of the customers have adopted a approach of AI as a platform where it can be scaled up. And there are two kind of approaches are there. One is a top-down approach where top has identified some use cases and they start adopting that platform. That's the first type of AI platform, and they want to prove certain things. Second thing is bottom-up, where middle managers who are using AI and who are getting impacted by personal usage of it, they want to scale it up. The manager at a bottom-up or middle to top have a better advantage of adoption, better AI in the journey of AI. There are three key barriers: governance. Second is unpredictable LLM cost. LLM costs are still expensive, though they are coming down very, very fast. And scale at the enterprise level. How do you deploy it? How do you scale it? These are the three questions which are coming up. I want to just show the live in use cases. The Purple Fabric, which we are launching today in North America, has got unparalleled ease of use in build and deploy. Why I'm saying it's a unparalleled ease of use? At Intellect, we started our journey 2 years back to use business impact AI for delivering our solution to our customer. We have 6,000 employees, and today 3,300 employees are generating agents. We have generated close to 5,000 unique agents in last 1 year of our journey of AI, where every manager in Intellect is able to build their own agents, solve AI problems by themselves, and they're using in very, very small use cases, whether it's in a design space or requirement space or in assurance space, they're using it. At this point in time, I want to bring Deepak Dasrala, our Chief Technology Officer, the brain behind designing this Purple Fabric and he want to just showcase in real time how these use cases can be built in front of you. And that's a area where he would like to demonstrate to you that agent can be a scalable business. People can learn from a formal classes, which can lead to peer-to-peer learning. From agent, he will demonstrate you how agents will translate into digital expert. They will be using enterprise knowledge garden, then how LLM cost can be managed, and afterwards how the complete governance can be ensured. So I hand it over to Deepak to take you to the Purple Fabric.
Thank you, Arun. What we are going to do probably for the next few minutes is I'm going to walk through what that designing the enterprise digital expert means. basically, I know everyone is probably aware of the agents, but from our perspective, when something to be qualified as a digital expert, it has to replicate the persona, the skills, and what probably an average or an above average competency employee in an organization can do. So what we will walk through is basically how one can create that expert. One thing that we kind of consciously ensured while building the Purple Fabric is, okay, what it takes for someone to really not only just build the agents, but actually build that is qualified to be an enterprise grade. And how, not only about building it, how you deploy, how do you manage, how do you govern, and how do you scale. So what we will do is basically will help in terms of just quickly we will show you how to build those particular expert agents, and how not only just creating a one agent but also creating an multi agents, which actually helps to really, because that is a reality in terms of a enterprise out there. Because if you look into the real world in an operation team, it is never about a one individual who is very good at doing the task. It is always a combination of multiple individuals. Especially if you look into the lending or any such kind of a use case, no decision will be taken by the one individual, even sometimes within the one department. What does it mean in terms of creating that kind of an expertise that is really scalable, and also how actually they can work together? So what we do is, just quickly, what we are going to show is, this is the reference that we are going to show in front of you. Basically, we'll just create a one expert, which is basically has expertise in the financial analysis, and then we will kind of create an orchestration expert, which probably work across this one expertise on the financial analysis, one expertise on the ESG, and then how all of them will work together in providing the expertise that is really qualified by the business. So that's what we are going to do. So let's get on to the demo and show how exactly we can bring it to the reality. So this is basically our studio where we can actually build this particular agents. So let's start building the agent. So what you are going to see right now here is how actually you can create a single agent or a team of an agents, or basically an automation flow. So let's start with just selecting the one agent. Okay. So what you see here is, when you are defining the agent, you can actually call it out whether it's a conversation agent or an automation agent. So let's probably go ahead with this particular financial analyst agent. Let's start defining. And we can see whether it could be a private agent or public agent. Private agent is basically for the individual who is creating, and public means it will be available for the rest of the organization. What you see here is actually canvas, and you have an option to have a default template or a RAG template. Again, RAG, everyone is aware of it, is basically retrieval augment generation. And then you have a kind of a template that you can define. What we will show is what are the options typically when they build individually, what will be difficult. Now we will see how we made it whole thing configurable. So if you can just select on the kind of a models that we have available for an options. If you see here, this platform is not restricted to the one model provider. We have an opportunity to actually configure all the models that are available out there. So you can choose the right model that is fit for purpose. What we believe is this is an area where continuously the innovation will happen, and we need to ensure that all those options are available so that you actually choose the right model for that particular task. What we also show is what are the other areas that you can configure. If you can, now if you see, this is where the look back limit, if it's a conversation, how far you want to look from the past conversation that can be used as a context, and then the model settings, if you, in this case, what is the top P, and whether you want to use the vision mode, the temperature, and temperature is nothing but to ensure that like you want the model to be creative or not, and then all the advanced retrieval settings, because at the end of the day, it's about information retrieval and how do you get that right, and what kind of a re-ranker model and other things that you can use. So this really helps to ensure that you have all the options available when you are actually building an agent to ensure that you are able to choose the right options. And what we also do is maybe now we can quickly see how you can bring in the knowledge. Again, I'll cover the EKG later, but this is about people who are familiar with that, what kind of a vector databases that you want to use, how usually you can configure the knowledge. Because sometimes for an expertise, you need to have a more than one kind of a knowledge base. For example, like anyone who is working on the risk in a bank, they need to have an understanding on their risk, the policy guidelines, the risk guidelines. Each of them you can think as a separate knowledge base that you can refer. So for us, it is just a more of a configuration. And now what we can do is simply that you have created this particular agent, you have put in the prompts over there. Now, how do I test and how do I do that? Because like as I said, the platform, what we focused is how we can ensure that it's kind of like a typical, like any development life cycle, right? You have to ensure that what you are building is actually fit for purpose. So here itself, when you are building the agent itself, you can actually test and debug whether it is giving the right outcome or not. Now, let's fire this particular question. It is basically going to bring in the RAG database that we have configured. But what we can show is actually what exactly this agent is doing. One of the biggest challenge for everyone is everything is a black box. How the information is being retrieved, we don't know. But you have the traces properly integrated here to actually validate upfront. So if you click on this particular filters over here, we can see when we say self-query, what does it mean is we just ask for the Lloyd's banking group. But actually, in some scenarios, it might be seen as a LBG, some scenarios, it might be a Lloyd's and all. So it will do a self-query to ensure that it is rightly, the query is constructed. And then it's going to retrieve for that particular questions, what are the right chunks that are actually relevant from that thing. And then it's going to have the whole re-rank that particular chunks, because it might come in any order. We need to see not every particular chunk might be relevant, and how do you re-rank? And then finally, how you can have the final response. The question is, having response is one thing, but how do you know that where it came from? So we also have that particular lineage where that particular source can be brought in. Not only it shows you that this might be hundreds of pages, but it will what is the final chunk that from chunk or a number of chunks from which the answer has been created. So you have an exact answer. This is all during the test and debug. If you see, we just created an agent, put in a prompt there, put in the right configurations, and immediately we are able to start testing. This will give you a view of how we are doing it and how we can ensure that we get it right. But now, okay, this is all great, but what about the guardrails? How we ensure that we have a right guardrails in place? This is where we can configure, for example, in this case, the toxicity. How we can ensure that the users who is using it, they are not passing probably the kind of a messages that is not in line with the spirit of the business and the brand value and everything. So you can pretty much configure the level of toxicity that is acceptable or not acceptable. And also what we can do is you can actually test that whether it's really working or not. So let's post a question over here and then see whether if someone really tries to use a toxic messages, whether that could be an input, that could be an output, how the platform really filters that and ensure that it is not happening, which is not in the interest of an organization. So if you see someone used the wrong question, and we kind of, again, this is where the traces will be very helpful. It is not just kind of a filtering out that response, but it is also trying to explain, and the explainability is a very key, so that it is there at every touch point. What is the important thing that you can notice here in the platform is the explainability, ethics, everything is kind of an integrated throughout the journey. It is not an afterthought, and it is actually, you can validate all and upfront while you are building the agent. And what you also can see here is we are also able to look into the overall what is the cost of this particular query, what is the latency, how many tokens it is taking, all of that very much integral. Because most of the time, one of the bigger challenges for a business is in a POC, they will see a lot of things, but a lot of these things becomes an afterthought when you go into the production, and then it becomes extremely difficult. Now, this is all about a one agent. Now, think about when your business creates so many agents across the various lines of businesses, how all of this has to be kind of governed and managed at a scale. And that is what we are trying to show very quickly here. Now, what we do is let's publish this particular agent. It is a single agent what we have created. And in a real world, the real business process, as we said, right, even for a great developer, you need a QA. So it's always a maker and checker. It's never about a single agent. So we'll quickly show you how we have created this one agent. Now, what does that mean of a multi-agent? So we'll probably we created a financial analyst agent. Now we'll create a company analyst which has a multiple skills, and one of them is a financial analyst what we have created. So let's go ahead and create an expert agent. So what we are going to show is here. See, for example, you have seen that RAG template earlier, which is largely a kind of a retrieval augment generation. Now, in this case, we are talking about an expert agent who's going to orchestrate across the various skills. So we are going to leverage the React template, which is nothing but a reason and act. And again, in the interest of time, we are going to put the prompt over there. Now, let's see how you are going to attach the other agents who will become a part of this particular agent. So let's go and attach the agent that we have just created and probably the other qualified agents. So this is a ESG analyst. Basically, one what created is a financial analyst. This agent is expert in ESG. Now, what we are also going to do is, it's not only about the expertise. Now, you also want to bring in the tools and all. So, for example, we are also want to bring in the external data. In this case, pretty much you can see as a data as a service. It could be a structured data from an external sources. We have added a company news into this. So it means what this agent will, this expert agent will do is basically it will leverage the expertise on the ESG. It will leverage the expertise on the financial analysis, and also leveraging the company news out there from the public, and it's going to answer any particular question with this particular skills and the sources. So let's ask a skill. In this case, what we are trying to do is create a detailed analysis on the Lloyd's banking group. So now this is a multi-agent which will leverage the skill that was available with these two sub-agents, and also the data as a service that we have plugged into this particular thing. Now, if you see the moment when it's clicked, now let's click on the traces. If you see, then this is because, as I said, this is a reason. This agent has a reasoning, and that it just taken that particular question and it has created a decision logic here, and what it is expected to do, and also what is the action it is going to take. And this level of transparency is extremely important, especially in highly regulated financial services. Everyone has to know that what the agent is trying to do, where exactly, which particular expertise it has kind of started referring, and what kind of an outcome it is providing, and everything is traceable here. So this particular agent now, it has leveraged both the ESG analysis and the company analysis, and then kind of brought in the external data, and let's show what is the final outcome that it has created. So this is the output that it has created. I think it's still because it's going and bringing in the company news. Okay. See, this is the news articles that it has referred in the context of a Lloyd's from the public sources. Now it's going to correlate all these particular insights that each of these analyst agents has provided, and then it also bring in the external news, and it's going to give the report in the context of this internal and the external expertise. Okay. Let's go back to the final report if it is ready. And this is the report. It has generated completely contextually, leveraging the skills. If you see, it has provided the executive summary, the financial snapshot. This financial snapshot came out from the company financial analyst agent, and then it brought in the ESG information, and then it got in ESG, ESG, and then from the news, what are the important news it filtered, and it's also given the risk watch list, and it has given sources. Obviously, this is just a quick example what we have defined, but again, think about this and from an enterprise context perspective, you are interested only in a particular sources, internally or externally, and how do you create this kind of an intelligence, and more importantly, how you know how you can trust this, and that's where the whole explainability traces, all of that really help at every step and all. So this is a very quick example on how you can create a multi-agent in enterprise context from your trusted sources, whether it's an internal or external. So what we will do is now quickly, this is all a conversation perspective. We will quickly show you what does that particular automation flow looks like. So that will give a, because in a business world, right, it's extra, most of the processes are very heavy in nature, and you also want to have a human in loop in for a certain process. So we will quickly show you one of the example from an automation flow. So again, in the interest of time, we have taken a simple, this is a letter of credit in a trade as an example, where if you can just probably, you can zoom in, they can see what are the steps that we are talking about. So it is about kind of taking the letter of credit, extracting, validating it, and reviewing it. And also what we are going to show is generating the final report, but also putting the human in the loop, because some of the critical processes, it's extremely important to have a human in the loop so that the business is comfortable. In this case, it could be, let's say I have a threshold when the extraction accuracy is below this particular thing, I want a human in the loop. So while this is, this whole platform is a headless, and you can pretty much think it as a headless system of intelligence. And we will show you with probably a real scenario quickly, if we can switch on to the, this is a kind of a quick app that we have created, where from a trade system, when someone is kind of attaching the letter of a credit, and then they want to really see, think about all the flow that we have shown that happens behind the scene with from an platform perspective, how the human in review works, and how the platform will kind of hand over when that particular threshold is less than a particular limit and all. So what we have shown is the builder journey earlier of how the flow can be created. Now what we are going to show here is when someone has attached over there, how exactly you can actually govern at a scale and see what the transaction that is happening, and what that particular flow looks like from each step perspective. So obviously it is extracting, and also maybe in the interest, if you can show from the any of the previous flow also while that is progressing, that will be great. So this is what you have seen the various steps in the flow, right? Now this gives a perspective. Again, this is everything is auditable and everything is traceable. So this is a more of a monitoring part of the particular platform. It can it'll show you exactly what happened at each step and all. So from what it got extracted and everything. So field validation, the accuracy, and all those things and all. So typically what you see in a front end, you can also see in our monitoring module of a platform, because you at a business, you might be, this is where the scale is very important. When you're running a millions of transactions, if you don't have, and they might be leveraged directly in the downstream system or upstream system, where do you go and figure out what exactly happened? So this is a monitoring screen within the platform where you can look into that. Now let's go and see where exactly the process that you kicked in. Yes, if you see, it has extracted the particular fields, and it also has given what is the particular confidence score and everything. And think about, this is where that flow has handed over to the human to review and make a decision. Think about that as someone has kind of corrected it from a human perspective. And now if you're happy, you can save it. And then once you say, then the control will go back to the platform and continue from where it has stopped. So what we are showing is, this is the in progress one. If you see now with the human decision, yeah, click on this, and after this it will continue and complete the next step. This is just because in a banking and critical process, people will be extremely concerned about AI doing everything. So it's not like we have an option where the human intervention is required can happen. So this is a quick view, again, in the interest of a time, just to give you for some simple example of a letter of credit, how the business can involve. So this covers both the, it's of an expert design building, both from a conversation as well as an automation perspective. So if you can go to the the next step, please. If you can bring back the slide. Now we'll focus on the benefit. Yeah. So while we have shown, this is a quick on the go, we'll walk through with one of the production. In fact, we are the first one in the world to put the multi-agent live in the financial service as early as last September. So this use case is about a kind of a complaint management system for one of the largest financial services client in the UK. Since the consumer duty came in, they were, can you, I have a complaint demo, please. Yeah, since the consumer duty came in, there were a lot of challenges in terms of a complaint handling, because someone like say that I have taken advice from this particular customer almost like 10 years ago, and they say I didn't receive the right advice. How the someone proves that actually they have done the right thing? So here we have built a kind of a digital twin of a whole complaints team. And if you look into this, what was typically used to take around a 50 days of an elapsed time to see through this particular complaint, because one has to dig into the lot of data sources, structured, unstructured, from the 11 different systems, and by the time going back and forth between the business, it used to take 50 days. And after building the digital twin, we are able to actually bring down the time it takes to really process a complaint almost from many weeks to the 20 minutes for the 80% of the cases and all. Again, if you see, this gives a little bit of a what is that particular hierarchy that we have created in a digital twin. And also we have built 20 different agents which are powered by the 6 different LLMs to arrive at the outcome. I think what we will do is, I think we were running out of time. Okay, just if you can, don't run that. Maybe if you can show quickly, we will give you, we'll give the thing. So this is just a view of what that particular report finally generated. This gives a view of how many different agents, tools, data sources that are being called, and how they all work together in tandem to arrive at the outcome. And this is not a rule-based kind of a thing. You can see this is just a complaint body from which the agent has thought through with its expertise on what could be the complaint category, how many types of complaints are there, and it has a pure decision logic at every step how agent has to. So there is, it's not a rule-based approach, it's a completely goal-based approach. And then let's show the final report in the interest of time. And if you see finally, you have it got all the information of a clients, the plans, and what was the verification it was done, and what is the data it has gathered, and what is the investigation it has done, and finally what is the outcome, and why it's rejected and all. And below that again we have the data source, if you can click, if you can come down, and from where it has picked what information. That really helps the business to understand even from the unstructured data from where it has got that. If you can click on that. Okay, I think, yeah, so this gives us from the complaint letter what it is. Again, I showed you the sources and I showed you the whole auditability, traceability, all of that. Okay, so let's move on. I think with this probably we can complete what the creation of an enterprise digital expert means, and how it actually used in the production for some of the complex cases of a financial advice in the financial services. Okay. If you can bring back. So what we have shown is what is the speed at which the wholly governed agent can be done, and how actually the business impact you can make with a trustworthiness, auditability, and traceability and all, and how if you create it rightly by using the complete flow, you will be able to get a 95% plus accuracy, and again with a human in loop for the remaining 5% and all. And if you're able to create the whole thing properly, basically the whole EKG, if you create properly, how you can save the LLM cost because you got your information retrieval right, you got your knowledge design right, and also you are able to test and benchmark that with a purpose fit model at a lower cost. This gives a cost, latency, accuracy, pretty much all the advantages. Over to you, Arun.
Thank you, Deepak, for taking care of the overall requirement of what is required to make something worthwhile. 3 days to 2 hours. That's the first benchmark, that you can create agent which is fully governed from 3 days to 2 hours. Second is, you're able to do as enterprise level, we need experts. Like we have a human experts, we need digital experts. And we need enterprise knowledge garden along with that data lake. So that's to create a business impact. Third piece is design for accuracy. 95% accuracy cannot be achieved by LLMs alone. Many corporations, when I'm talking to various CIOs, they are able to achieve 85% accuracy by general agentic design. But for any financial institution or any serious application in healthcare or any other area, you need 95% accuracy to implement. And that's a major struggle where McKinsey report says 70% failures are happening. The cost of LLM, which is infinite, today we have created an entire metering system. First of all, by the design approach of digital expert, where we are bringing a capability of orchestration, multi-agentic, rule-based. I'll go in detail when I'm conducting design dialogue. We are able to reduce our cost of LLM when we started a use case in September 2024 to now by 60%, because for each agent system which Deepak has highlighted, there are 18 agents working, and we are using 6 different LLMs to solve that particular problem. And that's the beauty of it. And once it is a platform, then only you can scale it up in a company. Now I'll just take it to the design dialogue on business impact AI and go fundamentally and suggest how to approach AI from a perspective of reimagination of every business imperative. The reimagination is a key word here, because traditional way of working versus AI way of working is very different. We need to reimagine customer experience, reimagine the way we design our product, reimagine operations, reimagine our compliances and risk. And at enterprise level, I need to have a right design, right engineering, and for that, I start the journey from design thinking itself, then move to first principle thinking and to system thinking. Because reimagination means thinking process has to change for the way I am approaching AI in the enterprise. We must have seen this diagram of human desirability. What is the desirability of AI to solve the problem for? What is the technology feasibility? And what is the business viability for implementing those agents is what the whole conversation is all about in the industry today, that how do I match all the 3 things to create an experience of AI in a business application. And a lot of things are being struggled because all the 3 things are not coming together, whether desirability, feasibility, and business viability is coming in. And that's why the reason the platform comes handy to solve these 3 problems together. There's a lot of mystery sitting there. We are building some heuristics with co-pilots and some of the agentic software which is coming from data lens, not from an application lens. We have built from application lens, so that's why we are able to build more algorithmic AI. Otherwise, it's in between mystery and heuristics, the entire industry is running. Over here, I say that for AI to be successful, we need to follow 3 laws of design thinking. Less is more. We need less agents and less experts. We need to prioritize, which is a highly business impact items, which is 1,000-gram impact items. And AI is about last 2% is 200%. And this is the 3 laws of design thinking which can be applied for business impact AI. Then I apply first principle thinking. If I'm doing AI first, then I need to understand what is the human intelligence is all about. In my enterprise, who are the human experts, whom are the key moat for the organization, versus what is artificial intelligence. So once I analyze human intelligence, I say that human intelligence is a 3-dimensional framework. First is, one dimension is expertise, second dimension is perspective, third dimension is the human traits. That makes a talent in the organization, and the central pivot is the knowledge. So when I ask the question, what is the intelligence means, it says, how do I apply knowledge to solve a particular problem? Now, if I look at it further, expand on this first principle thinking, expertise is a set of skill 1, skill 2, skill 3, skill 4. They constitute expertise. So agent 1, agent 2, agent 3 could be skilled agent. Now I have to build on this same platform, I need to build up a perspective of the agent, persona of the agent, and role holder over there. And that for that I want to embed intent and purpose. I want to add imagination for the agent, empathy for the agent, for the role he is playing, and his experiences are there. And then I have to add his ability to do the judgment or decision making as a traits into it. So these are three-dimensional metrics which I need to design the expert. So what Deepak was showing you, the entire cycle of agent design, which he has shown in just 10 minutes times, but in a boot camp, we will go through in detail out how to create each agent. And entire process of creating that agent has got this first principle thinking embedded into it. So design thinking is to identify the right problem to solve, and first principle thinking, how to create a highly effective agent with a 95% accuracy. When I am designing an agent, what is looking for me is the tip of the iceberg. A lot of time we look at it. But what requires behind the scene is huge amount of technology. I'll not go to each of the blocks. These are the blocks which goes around 12 blocks of technology which goes below the iceberg. But what we see in AI, on business impact AI, is a UI for AI or agent APIs. So agent can convert into APIs which can be embedded into an application, or you can use as a conversational AI. But the amount of work which is gone behind the platform, which you have seen in the presentation of Deepak, where he was moving very quickly from one frame to second frame to third frame to LLM frame to choosing the frame to traceability of it to create an ethical view. So much technology is required underneath, which is we have embedded for ease of your scaling your business using AI. There is a brutal honesty about the business impact AI. We need to solve real business impact problems. It's not a hobby, it's a real business impact problem. For that, I need a clarity on my input knowledge frame, what knowledge I'm feeding to it, what data I'm feeding to it. So I'm feeding knowledge as a service, I'm feeding data as a service, and by feeding knowledge and data, I can expect what is my target intelligence frame, and I'm defining my target intelligence from there. Over here, I need to do it yourself. I would like to suggest that AI has to come from the business manager, domain manager, or technology manager. It's a triad of business, operation, and technology which can create an impact of creating an agentic AI. It has to be responsible, responsive, and intelligent application of AI. We have used 217 technologies for four tech stacks. When we are putting the design of a platform, we created 4 tech stacks. Enterprise Knowledge Garden, because knowledge is a key for human intelligence and knowledge is a moat of any enterprise. So Enterprise Knowledge Garden is the first tech stack we created. Second tech stack is Enterprise Digital Experts, which is a combination of agent, which is the avatars of my domain expert, which is the avatar of my tech expert, which is an avatar of my credit expert. So the way any institution or organization has, we have a sale expert, we have a pre-sale expert, we have a domain expert. That's how you create and replicate over there. That is about Enterprise Digital Expert. He has demonstrated the digital expert of a complaint manager. Over here, single expert there. Then enterprise governance, and fourth is LLM optimization hub, where we can benchmark LLM for metering. And when all the 4 blocks are there, which is below the iceberg, on the top of it is AI as an API. So you can use Purple Fabric as a extended platform to all your initiative that you are running in AI currently. This can accelerate your journey because you can consume the Purple Fabric as a builder agent builder or expert builder platform, and you can use API as an agent or expert as an agent. So if I put graphically, this is the kind of a structure graphically the architecture will come. On the right side, I have a foundation model which could be coming from any source. Today, they are close to a million plus LLM models. You can pick up any choice we can make. And there is a cloud infrastructure. And on the top, we are using UI as for AI, agent as API, or expert as API. Underneath it, there are 4 layers of it, where we have a governance at the bottom, knowledge garden at the next level, then there is the agent designer, and then there is enterprise digital expert, supported by LLM optimization hub and AI security and guardrails, which is sitting over there. So these are the typically architecture which we are promoting. When we create AI lifecycle, there is the 8 stage of AI agent lifecycle, and they are again, for each stage, you must be using multiple tools. As of now, what we were doing in 2022, we were using close to 50, 55 tools to complete the AI agent cycle, and it used to take almost a week to complete one agent using all the cycles. Now we are able to do under platform less than 2 hours time. We have seen our AI designers have created more than 200 agents in last 6 months time. One single person able to create 200 agents in last 6 months time. That is the kind of productivity and scale we could have been able to achieve, because we embed all the 8 elements over here into a specific area, a specific block, and embed all the functionality which is invisible to you. For enterprise lifecycle, 4 tech stack give me the right knowledge, the right expertise, the right governance, and right model to task. That's create business impact transformation design. Now I will go each element by element. What is the concept behind enterprise knowledge garden? Why it is so key for getting a business impact? I said in any enterprise, there are 3 kinds of knowledge are there. There is a explicit knowledge which is in document form. There is the implicit knowledge which is in workflow form. But there is a tacit knowledge which is in people knowledge. So we find in any institution we have a short of the experts, like best RM, best domain expert, best trade expert, and we always find the shortage of them. How do you make them this tacit knowledge sitting in those people head to make it explicit using knowledge garden? How can I concept to how do I use guide rails document, guardrail document, customer knowledge which we can capture at every life cycle, and there is a flow document. So there are four kind of documents. So when I am doing the chunking, I need to do chunking specifically to each type of knowledge. Then knowledge as a service versus with the data as a service. So when Deepak was showing you where for largest player in UK, when they implemented it, they have close to 20 data systems from where we need to access the data for about the customer, about the complaint, about the past history, about the customer. That is the data coming in. And on the other side, there is the LLM coming with the knowledge, which is giving the service. And that is a part of my enterprise knowledge garden. If it's a good EKG, we design. And if we design EKG with the right knowledge frames, input knowledge frames, my LLM cost comes down substantially because I will be using my vectorized database internal to the organization, and that's what results into saving of the LLM cost. I need knowledge architect, composer, contributors, and consumers. And I can then use enterprise GPT. The way you have a chat GPT, one of our client is using a GPT for all its advisors and employees of 17,000 people. They are using enterprise GPT where all the knowledge is getting embedded into it. So this is a low hanging to create enterprise GPT. If you go how the enterprise knowledge garden is created. This is a kind of a technology space where we are close to 40 plus elements which constitute this knowledge frame for enterprise knowledge garden. This is the kind of a choices we can make when we are looking enterprise GPT. On the right side, you have a knowledge garden. Which knowledge garden you want to have it? You want a product knowledge garden or a talent knowledge garden or a process knowledge garden, and you can consume knowledge very, very efficiently and effectively. Similarly, over here, we can choose which kind of a knowledge garden I'm looking at it, which kind of a persona I want to consume it, and which expert I'm looking at it. So all of it I can put into form of enterprise GPT. Now I come to the second tech stack called enterprise digital expert. Enterprise digital expert, the core value is augmented manager. I'm using the word augmented manager with AI. AI is part and parcel of our life. My imagination is every manager in the enterprise can consume AI the way Intellect is doing. Out of 1,000 managers Intellect has, everybody is building their own agents, so they don't have to go to HR for hiring new people. They are building their own functions, which could be repeatable function, into expert form and creating their own experts. And we have close to today, as of now, 5,000 agents working in Intellect alone. Out of 5,000, there are more than 100 digital experts which are working as a part of it. These agents are atomic agent, molecular agent, or compound agent. They have part of purpose of agent, could be reflex agent, rule-based, model-based agent, goal-based agent, utility-based agent. They are inter-agent orchestration and agent-human orchestration. We are managing composable, task-based teams of atomic and compound agents to drive 95% accuracy. We understanding it. So these are the and digital expert composition with API calls. If I take a banking as a space, these are the areas in which our agents are working. On customer experience side on the top, employee experience side, and there are spaces called digital engagement from a customer side, or RM office, or from a perspective of enterprise GPT or onboarding. Then operations, there are 6 operations: branch operations, credit operations, payment operations, trade operations, wealth operation, treasury operation. And the bottom, it could be product design and product management, risk and compliance, technology operation. All these spaces which can constitute and enable for expert space. These are the experts which are ready to use experts, which are there in each area. Of like credit operation, we have 5 experts. For trade operations, there are 6 experts. So this is like consolidated expert which can be ready to use for your organization. At this point of time, I just want to play one video on trade expert. Just look at it, how we build all the technologies into this expertise.
Introducing our Trade AI platform, a reimagined, end-to-end solution transforming the trade finance lifecycle. Built on 3 pillars: customer onboarding, transaction processing, and transaction insights, it uses AI and digital experts to deliver speed, control, and intelligence. Onboarding is accelerated with smart data intake, verification, and risk checks. Transactions are streamlined via auto-document checks, BG vetting, and real-time compliance for sanctions, and TBML. Insights are delivered post-processing to clients, RMs, and ops, enabling smarter, data-led decisions. Today's demo covers 3 key digital experts: LC initiation for fast, accurate issuance process, TBML and compliance for proactive risk detection, LC document scrutiny for automated, rules-based checks. Trade AI helps your bank scale faster, stay compliant, and lead with intelligence. Operators start by uploading trade documents, LCs, invoices, or BGs applications, etc., directly into Trade UI with enabled autocompiler. Scattered documents, e.g., LC pages, supporting invoices, are stitched into a single transaction automatically. Purple Fabric's AI then classifies documents with precision. Smart categorization identifies document types with high accuracy. Drag-and-drop operators drag docs in seconds for alignment if required. No class filter auto-excludes non-relevant pages, stamps, back pages, from processing, yet considered for sanction screening as per requirements. The page numbering and add option ensures that all pages follow the correct sequence based on the transaction's context. It allows users to rescan and either replace or insert documents during the process. This helps maintain accuracy without requiring a full restart of the workflow. Reclassification helps in reclassify documents. Now, let's see how data is extracted with context. Purple Fabric's AI doesn't just scan text, it intelligently extracts structured data. Asterisk predefined templates auto-extracts critical fields like LC amounts from Swift 32B. Smart mapping enables extraction from unstructured data, like data extracted from documents like Bill of Exchange (BL). The system shows confidence scorecard per field for human review, with all overrides audited. Users can click any field to see its source via reverse highlighting, ensuring complete transparency. Need fresh data? The rubber banding feature in Trade AI lets you click and drag to instantly update fields, making data correction and field mapping seamless. Rubber banding refers to the ability to visually select, stretch, or move digital elements within a document interface. This reduces manual effort, improves accuracy, and accelerates processing across trade documents. User can also manually input data from the documents where needed. Re-extraction reprocesses documents while preserving validations, maintaining both efficiency and control. This hybrid approach delivers maximum straight-through processing while keeping humans in charge of exceptions. The operator can complete the extraction process and proceed to the next step. For banks, compliance isn't just a step, it's a shield. Here's how Trade AI ensures bulletproof audits and risk mitigation. Sanctions screening. Contextual extraction. Purple Fabric pulls entities, vessels, ports, into key value pairs. No more data dumps. For example, port of loading is tagged to its LC clause or BL for traceability. Deduplication. The system merges duplicate entities, cutting false positives by at least 75% and saving screening time. Extracted values are sent for sanction screening. AI flags transactions against bank rules. High-risk jurisdictions, dual-use goods like helicopters, with reason codes, and risky commodities. While users can override alerts, every action is timestamped, user ID logged, and requires rationale upload for full audit compliance. Consistency and ICC rules engine. Example, UCP or ISBP rule engine. Purple Fabric validates LCs against ICC rules, like Article 14 for expiry dates, flagging mismatches instantly. Human collaboration tools. Consistency highlighter. Click any discrepancy to see side-by-side LC document mismatches. No more flipping through pages or running through multiple attachments. Operator can see and act on the discrepancy highlighter. Segregate discrepancy versus non-discrepancies. Focus only on fields with discrepancy data. No noise from empty sections which are non-discrepant. Sub-agent precision. 25+ expert AI agents handle niche checks for ICC rules and consistency checks. Example, expert AI agent 15 validates transport document. Bill of lading relevant clauses, and expert AI agent 17 checks partial shipments. Override or add discrepancies. Ops teams can override or add new findings. Example, unlisted clauses, or reject AI flags with comments and update the required discrepancy fields like discrepancy header, along with details and reasoning, in order to add to the final discrepancy list. Once done, operator can all the discrepancies and view the entire summary where we'll see the complete list of red flags and discrepancies. Now let us see some of the common features. With pullback feature, operators can return to prior workflow stages to rectify or update values, like reclassifying docs or overriding extractions, while maintaining full audit trails and preserving system validations. The audit feature is for complete audit readiness. This feature logs all activity, AI extractions, human edits, and rule overrides, with detailed metadata including who changed what and why. This guarantees bulletproof traceability for even the strictest regulatory reviews. The rescan feature lets operators replace or update documents mid-transaction, like revised invoices or corrected bill of lading, while maintaining all existing validations and audit trails. Purple Fabric's Insight Agent automates trade finance analysis, extracting details, monitoring utilization, and alerting teams to risks in real time. It delivers actionable insights for sales, clients, and operations users. What you've seen is more than a digital front. It's a business accelerator. Revenue growth, faster onboarding and smarter decisions drive engagement, cut churn, and grow wallet share. Compliance, embedded checks for UCP, URDG, AML, ESG, and TBML ensure always-on compliance with less effort. Efficiency, 50% less manual work, freeing teams to focus on customers and scale faster. This is your leap to intelligent, agile, and future-ready trade.
If I look at this trade as an expert, we all find when a bank is operating in more than 20 countries, they need to validate an expertise in those 20 countries where the trades are there. How, as a single knowledge garden of the trade regulatory of 20 countries sitting there to validate compliance becomes so handy for doing it. And this is where the diagram which I'm showing, this all goes in creating an enterprise digital workforce, where from agent design to move agent orchestration design to look at it tools and agent execution. So there are 6 frames over there, and then they are going to next level of detailing to create an agent workforce. This is kind of a 200 plus agent ready with us from day one. As a Intellect, we offer to our financial customer or to the service provider, to the financial institutions or IT departments, so that accelerate their journey. Now, if looking at it, what is the kind of AI native technology enterprise like Intellect? If you are a technology player or technology vendor or ISV or building a technology solutions, for you, we are in the same space. We have certain roles in our organization, from sales to product support. We look at it agentic AI from a perspective of diagnostic. Then we are looking for a generation. Then we are looking for review and analysis. Then we are looking for some of the SMEs, subject matter experts. Then we are looking for pattern synthesis. And then we are looking for assurance. So these are 6 spaces we define to look at how a technology company can understand generative AI, agentic AI, digital expert into this area. So this is based on second use case I want to take for a technology company, where I'll just go to this and then I come back to this, where we look at it how IT service company can operate. There's a customer facing and revenue generation opportunity. There's a technical and operational function. There's a corporate and admin function. Then within the customer facing, we have marketing, we have sales, we have pre-sales, we have support, application support, similarly on technical and operational functions. And then we have so these are the various kind of agents which are available and which is required.
Excuse me, Arun?
Yeah?
If we could just get volume in the room higher, you're very low and you're audible. And this is really important for me as I go on this.
Thank you for highlighting. Does it sound better now? We can increase.
No, it's still pretty low.
It's low?
Yeah.
How is sounding better now? I don't know. Can you give me some different mic?
Yeah, I think Arun might need a different mic, guys. Sorry, everybody. Just want to
Sure,
make
sure.
sure you get the value of this piece.
If I using the mic, is it better now, Janine?
I think that's a little better.
Okay.
I think you're good.
Okay.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Okay, so this is the kind of a IT services company or consulting company which may require this kind of a digital expert. So if you have to scale IT and AI in the organization, which is must for every IT service company today need a platform for them to grow. And once we start using internally, you can offer the same expertise to your customer to whom you are providing the support using Purple Fabric. And this is where the complete roadmap, which is there for IT service firm. For this, we need a knowledge garden, and knowledge garden has got multiple layers of knowledge garden: my technical knowledge, my process knowledge, my flow knowledge, all has to come together to create a garden there. So if I'm looking for a large IT services company or mid-sized IT services company, they need to have their moat, which is a knowledge moat, which is there. And that moat comes from this knowledge garden, and it comes back to the number of agent and experts which is there. Now at Intellect, we have created close to 500 agents translating into some 40 different experts in various areas. We want to just show you one expert which is most useful for us is a software solution and support area. So that is where we want to just show you a small use case.
Welcome to SPA, Solutions and Product Assurance, your AI-powered digital expert from Intellect IGTB, reshaping the future of software testing. Manual software testing is costly, error-prone, and slow, impacting release cycles and quality. Testers are burdened with repetitive tasks and limited scalability across complex systems. Inconsistent coverage and delayed releases are the norm. It's time to break free from manual limitations. At Intellect IGTB, every human engineering role is paired with a digital expert to supercharge productivity. In our engineering roles and digital experts framework, SPA lives in the DE2 generation category, where AI actually generates artifacts. If you look at the DE2 box on the slide, you'll see two key subcategories, 11, test cases, and 12, test data. SPA automates both. It transforms parsed requirements into detailed test cases with steps, conditions, and expected results. And it produces the supporting test data sets, seamlessly bridging human insight and digital scale. SPA, Solutions and Product Assurance, is an end-to-end AI-enabled testing platform built as 4 interlocking modules for continuous improvement. At the heart is the generator, which transforms raw requirements into rich test scenarios, detailed test cases, test data sets, and test scripts with a chosen test automation tool. Next, the composer assembles those artifacts into structured end-to-end test suites. The executor then automates execution against your target frameworks, capturing logs, defect reports, and performance benchmarks. Finally, the manager oversees test cycles, triages issues, and delivers compliance certification and KPI dashboards. Each module produces critical outputs from scenario and case exports to execution dashboards and risk ledgers, which feed back into the system as a continuous feedback loop. As part of the first release, we're laser-focused on the generator component, delivering parsed requirements, AI-driven scenario generation, and detailed test case creation, test data sets, test scripts for a target test automation tool like TestMagic, Selenium, etc., all exportable to Excel for immediate team use.
In this release of the SPA application, we've introduced an enhancement in the requirement bundle creation workflow. Users start by selecting their customer, product, subproduct, and domain. Once that's done, they can create a new requirement bundle or manage existing ones. Let's say a user creates a new bundle. Now, here's where the new feature comes in. Earlier, you could upload files under a bundle, but now, for each individual file, you can also add specific context. When you click to add a file to a bundle, a new field has been added at the bottom. Additional context for SPA agent. This allows users to provide any extra instructions or guidelines that are relevant to that particular file, for example, customer-specific requirements, known edge cases, or business rules that need to be emphasized. This added context plays a crucial role in the way the SPA agent interprets and processes the requirement document. It directly impacts the complete workflow all the way till test cases. Now that we've seen how requirement bundles can carry more contextual weight, let's move on to how this information connects downstream, especially in scenarios and test cases, with a new traceability panel. 2. Traceability panel for scenarios and test cases. As soon as you land on a scenario or test case page, you'll notice a new feature on the right-hand side, the traceability panel. The panel is minimized by default and can be expanded with a click. This panel helps users visualize the entire parentage or lineage of a selected scenario or test case. You can expand or minimize it depending on your needs. When expanded, you can view the parent requirement from which this scenario was derived, with details like ID, title, objective, and status. This ensures QA and product teams have full clarity on the source of every scenario. Switch to a test case, and the panel goes a step further, tracing back through the scenario to the original requirement. This two-level trace gives complete visibility from requirement to scenario to test case, ensuring alignment and full test coverage. Users can also click on embedded tags for quick info, no panel needed. And of course, the panel is non-intrusive. Minimize at any time and stay focused on what matters. Together, this traceability enhancement ensures no requirement goes untraced, and every stakeholder sees the full story from idea to execution. But what if a requirement isn't part of the original documentation? Let's look at how you can now add a custom requirement on the fly, ensuring nothing important slips through. Let's say you're reviewing coverage on the metrics screen and realize something's missing. Now, there's no need to go back and wait on new documents or approvals. Click Add Requirement and instantly capture what's missing. The modal captures user journey name and description, user stories, example, as a user, I want to, requirement categories. Once added, the system automatically integrates the custom requirement into the flow, generating scenarios, test cases, and updating metrics seamlessly. With this, teams gain the flexibility to adapt on the go, closing gaps before they become problems. Speaking of metrics, let's now step into one of the most powerful views in this release, the brand new metric screen, where everything comes together. This screen gives you a complete eagle-eye view of your entire use case, from requirements to test cases, helping you stay on top of progress, gaps, and quality. At the top, KPI cards give a snapshot of the requirements captured, test scenarios generated, test cases created. Below that, visual coverage analysis shows how requirements are broken down and where gaps exist in percentage for scenarios and test cases as per requirement. Missing coverage can be determined in this expandable tile that explain where the coverage gaps lie. The risk analysis section classifies test cases by priority, high, medium, or low, helping you focus where it matters. Then comes distribution tracking, letting you assess balance across requirements and modules. Progress indicators track how far each requirement has traveled through its lifecycle. Coming soon, you'll also be able to save workflow states and schedule report exports automatically. And yes, you can export everything as a detailed testing report with per requirement level overview and more in just one click, for sharing, archiving, or audit purposes. Now here's where it gets exciting. You can now select specific test cases, and with a single click on Generate Script, our AI engine can create test magic business components as well as Selenium-based testing scripts, as per the user requirements. The SPA intelligence doesn't just generate random scripts. It connects the dots by understanding your application context, the specific business rules you defined, and the relationships between different system components, and then writes you the script. This end-to-end automation transforms weeks of manual test script writing into minutes of intelligent generation. Finally, to wrap things up, let's explore some UI enhancements that make all these features smoother, faster, and easier to work with. Requirement bundles are now sorted by last updated time, quicker access, less hunting. Grid formatting has been improved for both UI clarity and Excel exports, neat and professional every time. In the requirements section, requirements are segregated under proper headers that are clickable for cleaner navigation. Copy to clipboard buttons now allow you to instantly grab requirements, scenarios, or test cases. You can now filter test cases and scenarios based on their parent requirement or scenario, giving you fine-grained control when analyzing coverage. And risk analysis? It's now test case level, giving a sharper lens on where risk lies.
The DTB testing team has started to dabble with SPA and will soon experience SPA's transformative impact, reducing test preparation time by over 70%, improving accuracy, and enabling real-time visibility into testing progress. We have already released the first version of SPA and are onboarding all IGTB teams to use SPA as the underlying tool to generate their testing artifacts. Access SPA through the intuitive Ironman console, your centralized hub for seamless navigation and streamlined team collaboration. Our roadmap is ambitious. Soon, we'll integrate directly with Jira and Confluence, offer bulk data generation, automated test scripts, and sophisticated analytics dashboards, making the best even better. The future of automated software testing is here. Experience SPA today.
Thank you. Now, this is a complex use case, which is a digital expert full lifecycle, AI lifecycle. So this is now a new thing, like we used to have software development lifecycle, now you have an AI development lifecycle.
Sorry, we're jumping in one more time. Guys, can you bring the volume back up, please, in the room?
Can you hear me now? Okay. So you heard about the SPA. This is one digital expert we are using for solution and product assurance. Similar thing, all the service companies are requiring for their clients. We are using similar kind of experts in the area of pre-sale process, proposal responses, which is there, which has got given a huge efficiency from proposal to sales conversation. We are using for quality assurance. So we are using, as I mentioned, close to 5,000 agents in every small function where every manager is working on it. Now I'll just take you to the enterprise third tech stack, enterprise governance, which is about traceability and explainability. Concept one, structured distribution of knowledge through the various workspaces, entitlement of expert and LLM usage. These are the kind of guidelines which Central Bank of India gives. These are the guidelines which some given by some global players in Europe. So these are the things which we have put into enterprise governance. This is a kind of a structure of enterprise governance where Purple Fabric is taking care of it. Then concept fourth is a LLM optimization hub where we have promises that your LLM cost can come up to 60% down if you design your knowledge right, your agentic expert system right, and design the problem right. So LLM, we can dynamically benchmark LLMs against 4 factors: cost, accuracy, and speed and throughput, which is called CAST. CAST for each LLM depends on a specific use case. LLM cost needs to be monitored on a monthly basis since the tech is evolving and costs are coming down month on month, and the accuracy is shifting month on month on various LLM models. We can do selection, metering, and benchmarking. Just to summarize, what are the Purple Fabric value drivers? PF for enterprise, PF for tech. We are seeing long build cycles to pre-built agentic workflow, reuse hurdles to modular platform with vertical IPs, locking in AI frameworks in FS to PF is FI native. Need to differentiate in client RFPs, PF at strategic edge, pressure to drive AI revenues, PF shorten monetization time. This is what we are looking at it. How do you reduce your cost and how you improve your revenue? That's the reimagination we are looking at it for financial institution, for IT services company. We can be more competitive as a service company. For bank, you can generate new revenue line by doing the good customer engagement areas. By optimizing operation, you can reduce cost by at least 20% on operations. Your AI is only as good as your platform is. Platform, you should evaluate whether you're evaluating Palantir or C3 or Purple Fabric, but it is a platform is a must for going forward. It's like SAP of manufacturing in 1993, 30 years back when SAP came in. Today, AI is a platform story. We can deploy, you can use Purple Fabric on Purple Fabric Cloud, which is fully secure, which is used by multiple players globally. We have more than 50 clients are sitting on our cloud on Purple Fabric. Or you can have your own cloud of AWS Azure private cloud where you can consume it. Each install can have independent tenants and independent workspaces. Power of the platform is the power of simplicity. The beauty of it is do it yourself, business impact AI, design, build and deploy. That is a enjoyment which you can have. In summary, I would like to say there's no killer use case. A lot of time people are saying, which I mentioned in the beginning, use case by use case. There's no killer use case to prove it. You need an AI platform to build your own AI workforce. Everybody in the company should be AI native. At least 20% of your workforce should be AI native who thinks AI first, and then they think the work, how do they deploy it. We need sigma of augmented managers drive enterprise business impact. So you need to have 20% augmented managers who are thinking AI. That's what is required. I'm saying 50 plus AI native managers are must to start the journey. We started this journey of 50 plus AI native managers sometime in early 2024. And today we have close to 1,000 AI native managers who have built at least 10 agents by themselves for solving their own problem. We have a business impact certification course, which is a 6-step process. First, what is the art of possible? Design your own EKG, design your own agent, design your own expert, design your deployment, design your enterprise rollout and optimization. These are the content of the course where PF Academy can solve the problem. And from this point onwards, you can request for post Masterclass, you can request for AI certification to build your own agents. You can have a cross-functional immersion, schedule a design thinking workshop at a transformational design center, imagine and discover 3 pilots, 1 customer pilot, operation pilot, and risk pilot can be undertaken, get compliance approvals and go live. That's what I believe in business impact AI. That's what Purple Fabric is all about. Thank you for listening for 1.5 hours on what we have to show our 10 years of effort in just 1.5 hours. I'm sure you must have few questions to answer. I would request Janine to look at what questions are there.
Thank you, Arun, and thank you, Deepak. Thank you, Janine. Arun, while the audience have been very interactive, there were many questions which we have tried to answer on the chat, but a couple of them which I'm posing to you. One interesting question which came out from a CEO perspective, and this question is, many AI platforms promise productivity gains. What makes Purple Fabric different in terms of enterprise-grade governance, explainability, and compliance?
The fundamental problem of productivity gains is an outcome of how we reimagine the productivity, reimagine the process, and reimagine the accuracy. So unless I do a design thinking process first of transformation design, if I'm trying to automate my existing process using agent, then I have a very limited productivity gain. I have to think AI first based on what is my knowledge. How do I capture the knowledge? Do I just put all the ServiceNow tickets onto my agentic AI, which is 100,000 tickets, and say, I want to get answers of that, versus I do a pattern synthesis first by one agent, does the pattern synthesis, and then that pattern synthesis can be fed into the second agent. From there, it can identify the question answer. Will be important way of doing multi-agentic system and multi-process system. So that's the design of agentic system which is there. We are demonstrated this for complaint management system. We have processed more than 6,000 complaints using system with 98% accuracy, with a productivity gain which is in multiple times.
Arun, this is an interesting question for you. What is the biggest myth you encounter when executives think about AI adoption, and how do you help them to separate hype from reality?
Yeah, I think this is a beautiful question, hype versus reality. And we all understand there's a quite amount of hype. I say generative AI is good for a personal productivity gain, because at personal productivity gain, 85% knowledge or 75% knowledge right is perfectly okay. But when we talk about enterprise AI or business impact AI, I need 95% accuracy. And 95% accuracy cannot be generated by directly generative AI. My LLMs are, as of now, at high school standards. They need to get into the graduation and post-graduation standard to get into the accuracy level going up to 88, 80, 90%. Now, to move from needle from 88% to 95%, though it's just 7%, that's the hardest part of AI. And for that, you need multi-agentic system. You need rule embedding into the embellishing the system. You may have to use additional APIs to come in. So I need to have a system of platform where I can embed APIs from outside system. I embed rules from my outside system. I can embed the ability for connecting to the ecosystem or some expert system or human agent in a system. So that's what will drive the true productivity of AI and make it real, whatever the case are there. Like trade finance system, we have looked at it. Its processing time is less than 30 minutes, which used to take few days by the large bank.
Thank you, Arun. One last question. You mentioned 3 schools of AI adoption: personal tools, use case driven, and platform approach. Why is the platform approach the only sustainable path for business impact?
To me, AI is a culture, enterprise culture. It's not about few experts, you put it externally. It's not an IT department job. It's a business to reimagine their customer, operations to reimagine their operations, product department to reimagine their product design. It is a reimagine compliance manager. Now, this is not possible by incremental AI without an entitlement, without a governance, where the knowledge is coming from, where the duplication of the efforts are happening, where the different messages are going. I think it can make a mess if it doesn't have a platform. Use case by use case, the incremental improvement can be very, very limited. And that's what the frustration people are facing as of now. So I would strongly recommend, it's a choice. You can delay for some 6 months, you can delay by 12 months, but as an IT company, you need a platform. As a bank and financial institution, you need a platform. As a consulting organization, you have a huge amount of enterprise knowledge, and you have some of experts which are there in various areas like tax expert or finance expert. You need a platform where all this expertise can come as a digital expert into the platform. If you are ISV and you are selling some product, your product has to have an embedded AI sitting into it, and you need a platform for doing it. We as an Intellect, we are looking for a partner outside the financial sector, like healthcare sector, pharma sector, where we can work with you for bringing your domain expertise, because AI is about understanding last 2%. And last 2% is understood by domain experts, not by technology expert alone. And we need to sit together as a business operation and technology and domain experts together to solve and create an impact for the industry.
Sorry, Arun, one last question. It is addressed to you, so I thought I will take it up. Arun, if you were advising a CIO today who has to choose between a general purpose AI platform that promises everything and a financial services native platform like Purple Fabric that is already delivering 95% accuracy, faster time to value, and regulatory compliance, what would you tell them is the single most important reason to choose Purple Fabric?
I love to do it, so I think you sold yourself to me that why this platform has to be specific to the domain, what I mentioned. Financial services are domain. We are working from last 40 years in this domain, so we understand every minutest detail of last 2%. So this is a Purple Fabric for FS and Purple Fabric for tech, because we are consumer of the technology. We know what errors we do make in the industry when we do the development. We can help you to work it out equally well. So that's what I would like to recommend, that Purple Fabric is a platform for these two sectors. For other sectors, we are looking for a partners who can bring domain expertise, because platform is a horizontal platform, but value gets created to get a 95% accuracy when I bring a domain experts like you. Thank you.
Thank you, Arun. Thank you, Deepak. Thank you, Janine. And thank you, audiences, for staying with us for 1.5 hours. We just overshot by 8 minutes, but it was great to have you today. Thank you. No, I think. Okay. Cool. Thank you. Thank you.